Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from Sherwood Forest in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, Hour 1 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. I am your lovable, huggable, mid-morning chat host, Eric Von Haessler, surrounded by the lovely Doctrinaires. Man of 1,000 voices, Tim Andrews. Lady of, quite a few voices, Autumn Fisher. And, of course, Jared Yamamoto.
And you know what? Finally, fellas, we get to push Autumn aside today because it's International Men's Day.
International Men's Day. Hold on.
Boo.
Now, is that, Autumn, are you protesting? Are you registering in a formal protest at the top of the show?
I don't like. Come on, everybody. I don't like it.
She's a mob of one. But, International Men's Day, did you say?
Men's Day.
So, this is when we celebrate manhood.
That's right.
And so you look like celebrating manhood is usually a weekend thing for me, but here we are on International Male Day.
Me too.
Yeah. I heard it was International Mail Day, and I assumed it had something to do with the post office, but you're saying it's about men.
Well,
celebration.
Until you Google search it, the first search that came up for me was an article by Francesca Spector.
Oh, hold on. I bet you her friends called her Francesca, and my guess is she's saying something along the lines of, this is stupid. Why would we celebrate men when we know that men have caused all evil in the world with their toxic masculinity? And then she leaves out the fact that, they also kind of invented and built the world too. But I agree. Agree. It's not all roses and cupcakes with the men. They've got some downsides as well.
She's a writer for Yahoo Style.
When I need to know about style, I dial up Yahoo.
Yeah. Her headline is, "Do we need International Men's Day? Debate breaks out."
Oh yeah, I'm sure people are debating this all over. This is what I love about our clickbait culture. Yeah, I'm sure around every water cooler in America, and you know what, Fred? You know what? I think we should just sit down. I don't think we need this day.
I think you're right, Alan. Yeah. I think that we need to step aside. And I know we have a CEO, but he needs to stay home and let his assistant take care of it.
Let's let Becky speak today.
Yeah, go ahead, Becky.
This is international. Hi. Yeah, Becky. What do you have? What do you have to say?
Women are really important.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Go, girl.
Women are very important, and Men's Day is every day.
Alan, look at her. Look at her skirt.
Hey. What, Fred. Am I Alan? You're Fred?
I'm, yeah. You're Alan.
Hey, Fred.
What?
Hey, we don't think like that anymore, Fred.
Well,
this is 2019.
Yes, I got my skirt at TJ Maxx.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Not only good looking, but...
That's right. Knows how to save $1.
Do I have to take a break here or something? I feel as if there's...
I think we'll have a traffic report in a few minutes.
In a few minutes?
In a few minutes.
Okay, well, just let me know.
But what I will tell you is that this Francesca, who writes for Yahoo Style...
I know what Francesca's all about. I don't even have to hear anything from Francesca. Francesca's very upset at the way the world was made.
She says that...
I'm so angry because of Francesca.
She says that International Men's Day...
Sounds like a wonderful appetizer. Would you like the Francesca?
Is it angry?
Yes, the angry. Yeah, that's where you light it on fire.
Okay, I'll have
here
some extra
next to your table.
Thanks.
You'd like the angry Francesca?
Yes, please.
Absolutely.
She says
it's going to be an extra $2.
That's fine.
All right.
Fine.
She says that International Men's Day focuses on 6 pillars.
Is this the real? These are the 6.
Yeah, these are the 6.
This is what international. By the way, if there were no radio shows in need of content, no one in the world would know it's International Men's Day.
Highlighting discrimination against men is first.
That's number 1.
Followed by supporting...
Hold on. So we're encouraging more discrimination against men.
Highlighting discrimination against men.
Highlighting, okay.
You know how, I can't do anything?
Yeah.
Like when I go to the store.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you what.
They don't check me out.
They'll check me out. You know, I notice that people have their eyes on me.
Oh, yeah.
Like they think I'm gonna be toxic or something.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a man.
They think I'm going to buy like protein powder and get all strong.
Yeah. It's hard. It's tough.
Yeah.
Then number 2 is supporting male health issues.
Yeah, it's always good to support. So they want men to have more health issues? They're supporting more. They want men to be more sicker. Right? Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sometimes women have male health issues as well, so let's pay attention to that, okay?
Caitlyn Jenner, you have many
well, I just don't want it. Look.
First of all, you never made the downstairs change, have you?
Well, you know, some people say I have and some people say I haven't.
Well,
but I got to
would
tell
know.
you, wink, 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 I am good to go.
Number 3 is improving gender relations.
How do we do that?
Well,
we know what I
just
found
step aside.
in 32 years of marriage. I found just saying, yeah, okay.
That's the best.
Helps. That helps the gender.
I hear you.
I realize I'm not going to win in the argument, so why do I even care?
I don't understand why you can't just put the towel away after you use it.
You're right.
You're right. I'm wrong. I'm
sorry.
wrong.
I'll throw it away. I mean,
Leaving it on the bed.
It's self-flagellation
it makes it
for
smell
me.
moldy.
Yeah, I get it.
It leaves a wet, sort of moist
Do you
spot on
not?
it. It's horrible.
Can you not take yes for an answer?
No, I hear you. I'm just saying I don't understand why it's happening. I mean,
This is what has to
if you were
happen.
A thinking person, then you would just put it away.
I'll put it away next time, and I apologize profusely.
Number 4
I
is
mean, that's a start.
I'm trying to watch TV.
What's on?
I'm listening to a guy.
Oh, Below Deck is on.
No. These guys are discussing whether or not Dak should get paid. It's very
Dak
important.
Shepard. Oh, he is so sweet.
All right, that's next.
number 4 is promoting gender equality.
Well, how does that help men?
Here, Linda, hold this girder.
Yeah. Hey, Linda, you get Debbie. You guys, you haul those bags of concrete across. Oh, yeah, sure you can. Sure
That
you
wheelbarrow full of rocks.
Yeah,
Tina, why don't you grab that and go dump it in the river?
There's nothing we can do. You can't do.
Yeah.
Number 5 is great. Celebrating male contributions to society.
Oh, there's almost none. Oh, no, wait a minute. Just about everything. I don't know.
Number 6.
Well, no, wait. You're making the point against it now.
No, I'm making a point that I don't know what point I'm making. I'm just trying not to get in trouble. Okay. I feel like men have probably invented and built an awful lot of the world.
Yeah,
and I don't want to get in trouble for saying that.
I invented a stapler that doesn't jam up.
Yes, but I'd like to point out that was back when you were a man. All right.
And the number 6, promoting male role models, which that's the final pillar.
Like Antonio Brown.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Well, you know, they don't. You know, they try to hide that 7th plank in International.
What's that one?
Male. Is it International Male Day?
It is International Men's Day.
Men's Day.
Yeah, male is.
Yeah, well,
problematic.
Number 7, they don't want you to know this. Number 7 is working toward rescinding women's right to vote. Which I got to tell you this, that's the thing they're not. You see, you're getting all excited over there, but they always hide. You know, you hear about what about building number 7? What about plank number 7? We need to go to traffic for a moment. All right, so cheers to all the men on the planet, and let's do this.
Headlines for Tuesday, November 19th.
Now, I know people are questioning and saying, Eric von Haessler, what's going on here? Are you going to cover the big political story of the day? Because lately it seems like you've been avoiding the big political story of the day. And I would say to you, the answer is yes. Of course, we will be covering the big political story of the day. Fartgate. Eric Swalwell's Fartgate, which truly has started a conversation all over. So let's just start there. Let's just get on International Men's Day. Let's deal with some toxic masculinity right here, right off the top of the show. So Eric Swalwell, I believe he ran for president and nobody noticed.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Big, tall, redheaded dude, right?
Yes.
Really full of himself. Every day when he combs his hair, looking in the mirror, he says, "Good morning, Mr. President." We didn't see it, but Eric Swalwell saw a future president in the mirror every time.
Don't forget.
Yeah.
It was cold one day in the winter, and he wanted a cup of coffee. And the closest place was a coffee shop in Trump Tower. He walked a block and a half.
That's right.
To not shop.
So brave.
That's right. He
brave.
was. I guess people don't appreciate bravery when they're choosing their nominees over there on the left side, if you know what I mean. So he was on. Who was he on with?
He was on with Chris Matthews, MSNBC.
Hardball.
Yeah, Chris Matthews.
Hardball.
What is that again? What's your show?
Coming up, a big swallow hardball.
You'll be swallowing hardball.
Hardball, here's it.
And this is the debate that's going around the world this
so
morning.
He's talking, and in the middle of this, we hear what appears to be a fart. We have experts. We brought in experts who can testify clinically that it was a fart. Now, and Swalwell says he didn't do it. So let's just go. Hey, let's just go to the evidence.
Chris, so far, the evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard from Republicans...
Now,
Yes.
yeah, we have with us a biological audio analysis expert.
Yeah, I can break it down for you.
You're specialized in body gases and the emission thereof.
I specialize in body gases and the emission thereof, as is infected with the forensic breakdown of video and audio.
This is Dr. Baden.
Baden.
Dr. Baden. You see
First
my
name
HBO show?
BB for short.
Yeah.
Forensic farts.
Yes, you do. That's on the ID network, I thought.
Yeah,
Is that
it is.
Forensic farts.
Forensic farts.
So now, hold on. I have a question.
All right, I might have an answer.
I hope so.
All right.
Given that you are the emissions expert.
Oh, you're not.
Now, when I hear that, I've been in media for a long time. It seems to me that it's quite possible that fart came from somebody in production and this is not political. I was not a follower of Eric Swalwell in any way. But it seems to me, now you think about it, he's sitting there, he's mic'd up, his lapel, he's got a lavalier mic probably on his lapel, doesn't he?
There's not. They're using a boom mic.
Okay, really? A boom mic.
Well,
huh?
I put it together quickly, and I believe he was in a hallway in the congressional building.
Oh, he wasn't sitting down? I thought he was sitting down.
No, he wasn't sitting down. It would have been a different sound.
Okay.
It would
See,
have
I
been
think
more
it's
of
him
a...
sliding in his chair. That's what I
Was he in
thought.
his chair or not? I thought he was sitting
They-
down.
I thought he was sitting down too, but we will look at the evidence.
Get our seat analysis expert for the next one so we can figure out. We do have experts who can tell us if somebody is standing or sitting based on the tone of their voice. So we should be able to figure this one out. We have experts for everything.
We do, but let me tell you...
Do you believe that this was Eric Swalwell's emission?
I believe it was. And if you look at his face while he's doing that line, when he's talking about what happened, ways or whatever, he pauses for just a second, and you could see his shoulders slip forward.
Yeah, he does. I did notice that.
He's trying to let it slip out.
There's some...
Because that can be done if you're an expert.
Sir, would you like to hear?
Your analysis is that he thought that he might be able to slip one by the crust. Sneak one by.
One cheek sneak, as George Carlin used to say.
A lot more, let's say, heft. It had a lot more body.
Well,
than
there's a little vibrato to it.
Yes.
Well, sir, just to make sure and confirm it, okay, I know you've heard it 100 times, but let's play it 101 times. Just so that way we
can't
can
hear
make
too much.
So that way we make sure we can confirm the call on this one.
Chris, so far, the evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard from Republicans...
You know what? I don't care how erudite you are. I don't care if you attend Shakespeare 15 times a year. There's no getting around the fact that that's funny. It's an unusual noise coming out of your backside, and you cannot be above it. It's just one more time. I say, I'm being convinced now, that is Eric Swalwell. One more time.
Chris, so far, the evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard from Republicans...
And good listener, if I might editorialize here, thank goodness that man did not become the president of the United States. That is behavior unbecoming of a president of the United States.
President Trump would never do that. No, he would never.
SPD.
You've mastered that art.
I can do it. Look, Swalwell, lightweight.
Did you have a book that never came out? The Art of SPDs.
That's right.
You do it better
The
than
Art of Farting.
The art of the fart.
Irreverent.
Entertaining. Gut busting.
Very funny. And doesn't toe any party line.
I think it's a great show.
The Von Haessler Doctrine on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You see, spoiled. Remember, hear this. I just love this music so much that I have to say, turn it up a little bit. We gotta play it to the end. All right, here we go. I can't interrupt this. I didn't see that Queen movie, but my guess is that song isn't in there.
It is in there.
Is it? It is not.
It is.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it
is in there? It is.
Did they do it during the Live Aid set or something?
They do not do it during that part.
They actually feature that?
We did, Dolly. We put it in there.
You did Freddie Mercury?
We did, in fact. I love cats.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Well, maybe I'll watch the movie then. I assumed a great song.
You'll enjoy it.
All right. I like. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna watch Queen and Rocket Man on the same night, and then I will render my decision as to which rock and roll drugged out biopic is the best. And then we can put that debate to bed. Now, you've got things I have to read here.
Oh, we have so many things to push
now,
today.
did you write this? Because I'm not going to change a word.
Okay.
All right. So this is about the impeachment hearings. Remember, WSB is the place to be! Exclamation point. So I should have yelled that. Do people realize that when you put an exclamation point, it's supposed to be yelling. It's supposed to signify that someone is yelling.
I added as excitement.
Well, let me do it the right way, though. I want to be grammatically correct. Remember, WSB is the place to be! You can listen to the impeachment hearings on the WSB Radio app, WSBradio.com, or simply going to AM 750. On the AM side, it's all impeachment hearings. Or you can be a smart person and continue to listen to me right here on 95.5 FM, the WSB Radio app, or WSBradio.com. But I like the old-fashioned radio frequencies. It's a big day of promotions. I have more things to promote, Tim Andrews. Good. And Autumn Fisher. So get out of the way. We got to promote stuff. Again, written by my great young producer, good-looking fella, Jared Yamamoto. And I'm just going to read it. I can't do better than this. I'm just going to read it as he put here. This is UGA Tix with an X. T-I-X. UGA Tix. All right. It starts. ... I'm
putting it in your voice.
I know you. Exactly. Oh, you didn't want me to say ... I get it. Okay.
No.
What's that, Jared, number 2?
No, you don't see the dots.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And I sound like the coach in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. All right. I have 2 pairs of tickets for the UGA Texas A&M game this weekend in Athens. You have to sign up, and this is all caps, people, these next 2 words, which signifies to me it's very important. Right now. You have to sign up right now on your WSB Radio app. You only have until 11 a.m. So technically, you don't have to do it right at this. You have an hour.
You don't want to forget.
A little less, about an hour and 15 minutes. I'll announce the winner at 11:15, but you cannot win unless you sign up on the WSB Radio app. How about that? Now, before we go to Greg and Tech Tuesday, I do want to point out, I came in this morning and Jay Black was beside himself because he was hearing talk in the on air and maybe different stations, and people are saying that apparently there's a rumor out there that the Falcons could win the division just by beating everybody in the division. And Jay was beside himself with this. It's not true, right, Jay? It's not true.
I can't see how that could possibly be true.
It's not true.
It's not true,
it's
and
based on
I'm beside myself.
You are beside yourself. It's based on overall wins only, of course. You can't have a losing record but win your division because you've beaten everybody in your division.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way. Hey, it should go without saying, but Jay Black...
That's me.
When I came in, it was the first thing. You got to tell people that this is not true.
You got to tell people like Jared Yamamoto's walking around here all day yesterday saying, here's the Falcons' path.
It can't be done that way.
Can't be done. They got to win out.
It's based on overall record.
That's right.
And then the other, New Orleans would have to lose a few more, and Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
as
right.
long as New Orleans doesn't win 10 games, then the Falcons have a chance to win the division.
All right, but it's okay, overall wins only. Don't upset Jay.
Oh,
You're
sorry,
confusing things.
Jay always.
Are we good?
No.
Are we good, Jay?
You're good. I still got to talk to Jared Yamamoto here. Is crazy. I guess because he's from Japan, he doesn't understand football.
He's not from Japan. He's okay. Let's do this. Although he is a big baseball fan.
Tech Tuesday with Greg Russ.
All right, Gregory Russ. We've got all the promotion talk out of the way. We can get right to Tech Tuesday. That's what we're here for. What do you got?
Yeah. I'm here.
Yeah, I know you're here. How you doing? Did you want me to say how are you this Tuesday morning?
I mean, it's fine. I was thinking about the deconstruction you opened the segment with and how I'm much better at deconstruction than you are. But when I deconstruct, you get angry at me. You see, I'm deconstructing right now, which really means I am the ruler of deconstruction. But if I start doing it, shut up.
Yeah, I'm also, by the way, I'm getting angry, just proving your point that when you deconstruct, I get angry. Let me explain something. Hey, show meeting here. Show meeting.
Yeah, we're in. Present.
Eric,
Let's swim.
The host is allowed to do things.
Hold on, what's the dial-in number? What do I dial in to get in this meeting?
Yeah. Is everybody with us?
Guys, I'm here.
Hold on. Is everybody with us?
Guys,
Show meeting?
I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Hey, Tim's.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, what's Aram doing here?
Can you
He's
guys
not on
hear
the
me?
show. What are you?
Is it a 7?
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. I'm
7?
here.
No, I think I can't really.
Can we
Hold on a
stop the
second.
coughing?
Sorry, I thought I was muted.
If I could just get everybody on the same.
Eric, when he
Thanks.
runs these things,
Sorry, I
he's
thought I
just
muted
so
my mic. How do
out
I
of
mute this
control.
thing?
I just cannot believe that he would run this. Oh, I'm sorry, that was muted.
This is very cut. This is very, very quick. The host is allowed to do things that the Doctrinaires are not allowed to do. And why is that? I'll tell you why. Because the host has been unceremoniously thrown off the air several times in his career. And if it's ever going to happen again, the host needs to be able to look in the mirror and know it's the host's fault and not one of the Doctrinaires, so that the host doesn't later go to prison for tracking down and causing violence upon that Doctrinaire. And really, this is just to help you guys. So if I'm going to deconstruct and be boring, well, it's my show. I'm making my show boring. But the rest of you lot do not have a right. Only I have the right to make my show boring. That's what I'm saying. You guys have no right. Is that understood, Greg Russ? Only I. Only me. Yes?
I'm in my place.
All right. Now that you're in your place, give us some. Should we go to? It's 42. You told me we should be tossing.
Yeah, we probably should go to traffic. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get him started with a headline.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it's a great
He's
idea.
holding up a sign that says "Toss to traffic." So let's go to traffic. All right, Greg. The only thing I want deconstructed now is a Tech Tuesday story.
Well, cord cutting has reached an epic new level.
Okay, hold on one second.
People are leaving the cable companies.
Let's not get ahead of people, because we say cord cutting. Maybe people, not everybody. What is cord cutting, Greg Russ?
Cord cutting is getting rid of your cable TV service.
So, okay, so now we understand. And now go ahead with your story.
Well, that's the story. It's reached an epic new level.
Well, okay, I'm glad we covered that.
2.87 million customers left the cable companies in 2018. That's up from 1.49 million.
I'm one of them.
Too.
I left satellite company, but same deal, because you can get, it's weird, these cable companies and satellite companies, and if you are I'm talking to you, they really don't know what to do. I kind of feel sorry for them. They know the future isn't them, right? This is especially true with satellites. They know the future isn't them, but they also know there's still quite a bit of money on the table, and it's going to take a few years before there's no money left on the table. So rather than just go ahead and sort of jettison themselves into the future themselves, they want to make sure they don't leave one dime on the table. And so they're doubling down on the old model to scoop as much money up as they can. Meanwhile, by doing that, they're upsetting many customers who are leaving quicker than maybe otherwise they would be, with weird fees and just stuff that,
all those channels that you don't care about.
Yeah, here's something. I was with one satellite company, and I will not say who they were, for 20 years almost. Started when I was in Los Angeles, rolled it over here. Last year, I get rid of it, and I go to a different thing. They charged me $100 to leave.
Whoa.
I said, I've been paying you monthly for 20 years. I don't get a little, hey, thanks a lot, man. No, they charged me to leave. And you know what? I was so happy to leave. I just paid it to get the hell out of there.
Here's what you should have said. If I don't pay this, what are you going to do? Turn off my service?
Well, no. What they do is they report you to the credit agency, and then the next time I need to, my drug
chumps.
Come
get me.
Look,
what I say.
Greg, you know my drug habit. I need money. I need to be liquid. So I don't want to find out that I need a loan to keep my habit going, and then suddenly, I didn't pay a bill, an exit fee. I'm not going to allow that to happen.
I'm also full of hot air because my credit is so good. I would never want to go to a collection agency. I wouldn't want them after me.
Yeah,
take the money, leave me alone.
You ever have
832.
You ever have a collection agency call you about something that was like 16, 17 years ago?
Yeah. I laugh at it.
Yeah, you have to, right? Because they don't have any. That's all gone.
Look here,
now.
Mr. Skip Tracer. I'm not paying for my RCA cassette tapes.
I moved here.
Isn't Columbia House still going after people?
Yeah, they tried it. They tried it with me 3 years ago, and I just laughed at them. Yeah.
That scam back when they used to say, hey, get 175 albums for a penny.
Yeah. Prove that I got them.
And then all I would do is I never. So the idea is you have to buy 4 more albums. If you really think about it, I mean, what a jerk. I mean, it really is a good deal, right? So it literally would be something like get 12 free albums for a quarter or something. And then the only part of the deal was you had to buy 4 more albums over the next 2 years or something.
But you had to tell them, you had to mail them and tell them you didn't want the promo one. So that's how we ended up getting Celine Dion's greatest hits.
So what? You get turned on to a little something. That, come on.
Don't pretend like you don't like Celine.
Yeah, you don't have to. I know the real you.
I like Celine Dion. She's a great voice.
You like the Broadway show
She hits
tunes.
those Steinman notes, those Jim Steinman songs.
Look, I'm not letting
meatloaf without the fat.
It's no attack upon your sexuality or anything. You're a guy who likes Broadway tunes. Nothing wrong with that. All right, so I quit. Anybody here still on the cable satellite thing, or are we all cord cutters?
Yeah, I'm a cable guy.
You're an old-fashioned dude.
Yeah, that's right.
Traditionalist. Yep. You like to get your programming.
I like that coax. now my HOA ties me into a cable service, but we don't really. It's like the most basic of the basics, so we never really use it.
You only get ESPN
totally
1 and
basic.
2.
Yeah, we don't basic AF.
Basic AF, exactly.
Dude, so basic.
So basic. Oh my God, this cable package is so basic.
My HOA makes me mow my lawn. Can you believe it?
No, that's hard. No, my wife complains about the HOA, and I won't. I'm like, we signed it. I'm like that. I mean, is that old fashioned? Like, we signed it. If we didn't,
you just do things so people leave you alone.
That's right. That's right.
I signed it so they got out of my face.
I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be bothered.
I don't want anybody to think I murdered someone because I didn't find my HOA fee.
That's right. You become a suspect in people's eyes if you don't live up to your agreements.
If your wife, why isn't he following the rules of life?
That's right.
Something is up with that man.
Hey, a guy who would paint his house pink against HOA rules. Who knows what that guy's doing? Let's open an investigation into his private life. Yes.
If your wife is complaining, why not run for president of the HOA?
Oh, the wife or me?
Yeah, either.
Because I don't want that. I got to go deal with my neighbors. I'm upset about the garden in front of the neighborhood. Like I care. No, thank you. All right, Tech Tuesday, boy, dance. Give me another story.
Moving and contorting my body to this music. That's what you call dancing.
That's what I call it.
I think of aliens coming to Earth and watching people dance and thinking, what the hell?
How do you know they don't dance?
Yeah.
Because they're advanced.
You don't know.
Because anyone who's advanced mentally.
I don't know. There's the universal dance. You're just unaware of it. It's a universal vibe, man. It's just you're such a grouch, such a misanthrope that you just can't get into it. I myself do not dance. The reason I don't dance is because I just think it's weird to move my body around like that. Now, I do dance when I'm in private. I'm a private dancer.
Dancer for money?
Yes, yeah, sometimes. Hey, look, I've been broke a couple times in my life.
Yeah?
Nothing wrong
Tie your
with
shirt up in a knot?
letting yourself,
Hey, do you want another text story?
Oh,
let me just get this. Let me get this in there.
All right, go ahead.
I know I started this conversation. Motorola Razr, I told you it was coming back, but they're reinventing it. The classic flip phone is going to become a foldable phone. We know how those go.
Oh, for heavens. Oh, is it going to be one of those glass things that folds for no good reason?
Yes, it's equal parts retro, Eric, and cutting edge.
Can I just say to people,
someone got paid to come up with that.
Why does everybody have to be nostalgic about everything? Oh, my first phone was a Razor.
Oh, the Rolling Stones.
Hey,
Whoa!
whoa,
Shots fired.
whoa, not the same thing. Not the same thing. That's like saying, watching Citizen Kane. That's a work of art. That's content.
That's true.
You don't have to have the Razor phone.
I just wanted to zing you.
Oh, you didn't zing me at all, pal. Went right past me. As a matter of fact, everybody's laughing at you, Greg Russ. They're not laughing at me. They're laughing at you.
I don't care. I'll sacrifice myself.
Are we all laughing at Greg Russ? Boy, what a dummy. What a dummy. I love Greg shaming. Oh, I guess we're on now.
Yes,
good. Guess what? Hour 2. There's the music. All right, people, we're all together. We're ready to go. Hour 2 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. Let's do this.
More headlines for Tuesday, November 19th.
What do you got for me?
President Trump said that he will strongly consider an offer from Nancy Pelosi to have him testify in writing as part of the impeachment probe.
This is a bad idea. I don't care. I'm being objective here.
You don't like the idea?
I think it's a bad idea.
Why?
I'm not weighing in on who I want to win or lose or what I think or what I don't think. But this is a bad idea because, your opponents refer to you as a liar quite often.
They do.
Yeah, and no matter how you feel about that, I think we can all agree that at the very least, you do have a habit of embellishing your version of events.
Hey, an embellishment of the truth is still the truth, technically.
It's just blown up a little bit. Technically speaking. But embellishing stories and the way things happened in real life, people can take it or leave it and respond as they want to, but you can get you a lot of trouble in a deposition of this kind. I would say that there's no win whatsoever for the president in doing this. This is my counsel. I want to trap
her in her lies.
Is that what you're going to do?
Nancy Pelosi, every time she opens her mouth, lies.
Yeah.
See, there she is lying.
Nancy.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, he's calling you a liar. You have something to say about that real fast?
No, that's not true. Everybody knows it's not true. And
that's a lie there.
It's important to understand.
I'm not really understanding what she's saying. I said, your teeth are in the way. Could you move your teeth out of the way and speak?
My teeth are in the way. You need to take your teeth out and put them in your face.
That's a good one. Queen
of the comebacks. I'm not a liar. He's a liar. Everybody knows that's true. And I think he's timed in.
These are our leaders. Sounds like you're in kindergarten.
Shut up.
Pelosi said that last week.
You shut up.
No, you're the one who's...
I don't like you, old bag.
All right, you two. Let's separate.
Now, last week, Nancy, you were saying that last week was great for the Constitution.
I think truth has had a good week. I think patriotism has had a good week. And I think the Constitution has got a good week.
Well, I like all those things.
I didn't hear what she said.
What was that you said?
I think patriotism is the thing.
Yeah.
I think that the peace within the Constitution.
Yes.
I think it's important.
Is anybody getting this? Anybody understand?
It's like having a conversation with the typewriter.
You're like having conversations. You're the one who's just talking Twitter.
You want to fire me up? You want to get me mad?
Now Clark's getting involved. All right, everybody relax. Everybody relax. All right, first of all, have we told people that they can, if they don't want an entertaining show this morning, they can go to AM 750 and hear the impeachment inquiry.
Believe it or not, I actually did get a couple of Facebook messages from the AM 750 side. They thought that we were not on the air, but we are on the air, 95.5 FM.
So you're telling people right now who are listening to AM 750 that we're on the air on 95.5.
That's right. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Don't do that.
Good work. Well, I want to jazz things up a bit. So we have an ABC thing that tells us what to look forward to today in impeachment, right?
Yeah.
And I'll give it a little, I'll pump it up a little, give it a little rock and roll pizzazz. All right, go ahead.
President Trump is suggesting he may take the House Speaker up on her offer to testify in the impeachment inquiry. Pelosi saying Trump could even do it in writing.
That's right.
I'm interested in this now.
That's right. That's today on the impeachment show.
Today on the Impeachment Show, Vice Presidential Aide Jennifer Williams, NSC Advisor Alexander Vindman, and guest appearances from Kurt Volker and Tim Morrison. It's the Impeachment Show, starring House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, creepy California Congressman Adam Schiff, President Donald Trump.
This is a witch hunt.
And a special appearance by South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham.
That's a bunch of BS.
You never know what's going to happen, so tune in. It's the Impeachment Show. Only on ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, CNBC, MSNBC, C-SPAN, C-SPAN 2, C-SPAN 3, CNN, Fox News. And right here on AM 750 WSB.
Pump it up. Hey-o.
God, I want to watch it now.
Is it going to be good? I don't know.
A lot of exciting stuff. You know, unfortunately, TV can't do what we're doing. They can't say, hey, if you want to watch General Hospital, you can stay here. Go to ABC2. HD23. So, yeah, if you want to, it sounds very exciting to me. I'm trying my best to, you know what, I feel like wake me up at the end. Hey, they're just about to impeach him. Oh, okay, all right. That's when I'll wake up. Okay, all right. Now we got a trial in the Senate. And they released a lot of documents in the last couple of days. And no, I didn't read all through them so that I could bring you a good analysis. I'm too lazy for that. But I saw in there that Trump has conversations with Sean Hannity about a lot of these things. And I think that, Sean is on this channel and nothing against
3
Sean.
3 o'clock today, buddy.
That's right.
TikTok.
Yeah. So, and I don't want to, but it got me thinking, when you talk to Sean Hannity.
Trump, me or Tim?
You.
Okay.
When you talk to Sean Hannity.
Yes.
So, say that lady, the ambassador they don't like, that they fired. The ambassador, Yana
Dijab?
Yana Donovanovich.
Yana Dijab.
Yeah.
Maria.
I just took the deposition of a girl named Maria.
What are you doing? I don't know. What is that?
You're not a big West Side Story fan, huh?
No, I don't like musicals,
So here's my question. This is a serious question. When they get together and they're talking about the people and the impeachment and how to handle it, this is my question. And some people listening to me will be angry that I asked this question. When I'm done, they'll be like Greta.
How dare you?
But I just have to go ahead. I have to forge ahead. Do Trump and Hannity ever discuss coordinating smear campaigns against the president's adversaries?
Hello, Shad.
Yes, Mr. President, how are you? It's so good to hear from you today.
Listen, I have a new nickname for Eric Swalwell.
Well, he's not running for president.
I don't care. Did you see him last night on Hardball?
No, Mr. President, I was doing prep for my...
Hey, shut up, Sean. You do as I tell you. Listen, I want to talk about him and the Democrats and call it the fart of war.
Chris, so far, the evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election.
Listen to
the
that.
complaint I've heard from Republicans...
Sean, it is ridiculous. You got to get out of fart of war, all right, buddy? I'm going to call him Fart Man. Well, wait a minute. That's how it's... I'll think of a good fart name. But in the meantime, it's the fart of war. The Democrats are the fart of war. You got it, Mr. President. I'll run that by note.
That's a good question. I think it's a good question of if they coordinate the public relations of whatever's going on. Because at that point, then it wouldn't be analysis anymore. It would be more of like a PR move.
Text me later.
And by PR, I mean public relations. I don't mean people jumping on me saying I'm a hater. I'm no hater. I'm just saying public relations. I brought up the West Side Story.
More of a 70s thing. You don't need to worry.
Oh, they don't. Everybody thinks public relations when you say those two letters now? I don't have to worry about it. It's one of the things that I don't have to worry about. Okay, very good. So that's I think that I worry a little bit about that. I mean, not really. I don't really worry about that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go back to my the beginning here and say, wake me when something real is going to happen. I look up there now. I see Colonel Vindman. You know what I would not like to be in a hearing where I'm called to the hearing. It's on TV in the House of Representatives in one of their august hearing rooms. I I wouldn't want to be one of those people that they talk to 2 or 3 people at the same time. That means you're not that important.
Yeah.
Like if they called me and they said we want to have an inquiry, did you come into the inquiry? That'd be my first question. Well, do I get the spotlight all to myself, or I got to share it with 2 others?
You're a panel kind of guy, are you?
Yeah, the secretary of nothingness. I don't want to be up there with him.
I'm the secretary of nothing, and
secretary of nothing.
I'm here.
How much do you get paid?
Nothing.
Good deal.
I work quid pro quo.
Here's good. Bring up quid pro quo.
Not quid pro quo.
Oh, here's a good.
Pro bono.
This is my friends on the left. They always think that when my friends on the right, and I do have both, and I have friends on the left and friends on the right.
I don't know how you exist in this world.
Well, they just both have to deal with it, and nobody wants to lose my friendship. I mean, you're very lucky if you're in that club. So they just they deal with each other. But my friends on the left say it's conspiracy weirdness when my friends on the right say that the media, the mass media, is just another arm of the Democrat National Committee. They seem to offer the same narratives as the Democrats do. And what I would say is, well, here's a piece of evidence for that. Have you noticed that in the last few days, the Democrats stopped using the term quid pro quo dealing with this Ukraine thing? Well, what happened was, behind the scenes, they polled quid pro quo, and they found out that most people don't know what that means. This is true. So the Democrats changed their language from quid pro quo to bribery. And I was listening. I was cheating on the station. I went over to the government thing for a moment, driving home. And I noticed that they just started saying bribery. They just picked up exactly the same language and there was a shift there. Because last week it was all quid pro quo, pro. And now, all of a sudden, the Democrats changed that to bribery because they polled it and found out that's a whole different thing. By the way, when we come back, I often say to you that there's a dumbing down of America going on. And I know you probably say, I see old shock jock in him. When we come back concerning quid pro quo, I will demonstrate to you that America today is dumber than America, at least back in the late 80s. Well, you want me to push stuff? Can I do a show here today, Jared? Or
I don't think so.
Promoting things?
I don't think so today. I think today is the pushing day.
All right.
You don't want to help out these fine folks out here? We want to give some tickets.
That was Thursday.
No, it's a pushing day. Do I get to keep a little head stash, something for myself? All right, we have 2 pair of tickets. It says pairs of tickets, but I feel like it should be a pair. 2 pair.
No, because it's plural.
Yeah, it's plural.
Pairs.
1 pair, 2 pairs.
Oh. I accept your apology.
I apologize, Jared. I have 2 pairs of tickets. I'm not too big for it. I apologize. I have 2 pairs of tickets for the UGA Texas A&M game this weekend in Athens. You got to sign up right now on your WSB Radio app because you only have until 11 this morning, and we'll announce the winner at 11:15. Can't win unless you sign up. And then he writes it here like I should deliver that angrily. Hey, you can't win if you don't sign up.
Hey, stupid.
Dummy.
Yeah, how do you expect to win, dumb?
Is there somebody out there who expects to win tickets without signing up? Well, you know what? You don't deserve the tickets. I wouldn't give them to you if you got a clue at the last second and actually signed up. That's how angry you make me, dear listener.
I shouldn't have to sign up.
Oh, it's always with the complaints, isn't it? I come in here every day and I deliver a radio show that's so much better than what it would take just to keep on having this job. And you do nothing but complain, dear listener. And I'll tell you something, I'm getting a little tired of it. As a matter of fact, I teased that I was going to explain why, give you an example of how America has become dumber in the last 30 years. And I didn't do that here. Why? In spite. To spite you, dear listener, for complaining so often. No, we just ran out of time. I'll do it when we get back. I'm going to do that one later. I want to push something of mine. Wayne and the boys over at the What the Riff podcast. I appeared with them a few weeks ago. I brought Scarred But Smarter, first album by Driving and Crime. This is a podcast where you go back to the year that an album came out, and you talk about the year and the album, whatever. So you can look for that. And then now, the new one they just put out, I'm there again. with the album Woodface by Crowded House. So it's called What the Riff, and you can get it at all the podcast places that you get your
your podcatchers.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Podcatchers?
Podcatcher.
Is that what the kids are calling? Clive.
Smash that like button, subscribe.
Yeah. Like if you wanted to get one topic with Greg and Otto, or Power Pod with Jared and friends.
That's where I get the Power Pad?
Yeah.
Power Pod. Thank you.
Excuse me?
Power Pod.
Yeah,
Power
pad,
Pad.
not pad.
Okay. Did he say pow?
The Power Pod.
Now, me, I have the Stitcher app, and I pay to stream it.
This is Clive Cliverson. He's my radio guru / consultant.
Yeah, sir.
And he tells me I got to start speaking to the kids. Do you know what he told me the other day? Do you know what he told me? If this guy is ruthless. So he comes to me, pulls me aside, and he says, Eric, that's my name. He says, nobody cares about your 70-plus listeners. Can you believe that he said that to me? He said they don't buy anything. Well, that's not what I do this show for.
Yeah, they don't buy nothing.
No, I don't. See, I'm not like that. I don't do this show for that. I do the show for everybody. This is a show for kids from 1 to 92.
Yeah, it's like Christmas.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys that listen, though, they need those pills.
That's true. And we have many different places.
Why can't you go for 90 minutes?
Well, have you seen yourself?
All right, now. Clive Clivers is a radio consultant, so he spends most of his time in the strip clubs.
Yeah, there's no problem there. I don't.
You love coming to Atlanta. He tells me I love coming to Atlanta.
Geez, I'm at the Pig Pony, the Oasis, all of them. You know,
with all the settlements behind you, I'd think you'd stop going.
Hey, statutes of limitations.
Statues or statutes?
Statutes.
All right, so before we get, what are you looking at me? You're looking at me like I'm doing the show wrong, Jared. What
You're doing an excellent job.
Well, thank you very much.
You know what? Gold star for you. Well, first of all, we got to open up the next segment if we're going to do it.
I understand that, but before we do the next segment, I've been promising people that I'm going to prove to them that my theory that America has been dumbed down over the last 20, 30 years is true.
That's right.
So I know it's right. That's why I'm saying it.
Good job, Eric. You're doing great.
I don't need this millennial encouragement all the time.
We know
10 reasons why Eric is so right, and you're wrong.
Find some good GIFs or GIFs.
Buzz off with your feed is what I say.
Ooh. So
I told you earlier that you may have noticed this. It's a subtle thing because the media just went right along with it. And I'm not one of these conspiracy guys, but you got to see what you got to see. Last week, it was all about quid pro quo. And what happened behind the scenes, the Democrats, they're constantly polling with these hearings and these public hearings to find out if they're getting any more, getting some converts from independents who voted for Trump or whatever to keep on going. Well, during the polling, they asked a bunch of questions. And they were asking about quid pro quo. And what they found out is, apparently, not many people know what that means. So over the weekend, it switched. Spanish. Yeah. So over the weekend, it'd be Latin, sir. It's like, over the weekend.
Latino?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was called Latino.
It's Latin. Over the weekend, this is what they got to deal with. They got to try to sell it to people. Over the weekend, the Democrats stopped saying quid pro quo and they started saying bribery. And then, sure enough, boom! I'm listening. I cheated on our station for just a few minutes, and I won't tell you why, because I'm a good employee. But I went to the government station briefly, and they were doing a story on impeachment, and the person they just said bribery. I mean, they just went right with it. Quid pro quo was gone, and then went bribery. And I've said many times, I think the world is this country is dumber now. I'm sorry, Clive Cliverson, radio guru / consultant. Yeah. He hates when I bang on the millennials, tells me they're the future, says I need them. But the truth is, I believe these millennials are not as smart as 20-year-olds. Well, I don't know, back when I was in my 20s.
It's not their fault. I mean, they didn't have the education.
I'm not saying whose fault it is.
Okay.
I'm just pointing out that it happened.
Well, and also, Boomer, a 20-year-old would be a Gen Zer now.
I'm saying 25, 26.
Okay, there you go. That's a millennial. That's the end.
These are the people that are trying to. So this is from what year? Tim Andrews is at the scandal relevance desk. What year is this from?
This is 1989. After George H.W. Bush became president, they were still investigating Iran-Contra.
Yeah.
And this is in regard to quid pro quo with Oliver North.
Okay, and so the idea was there was no quid pro quo, right? And first you have an ABC News story for you. Is this very long?
The long part is about 20 seconds long, maybe a little bit long.
The president was coming out of meetings with Canadian Prime Minister Mulroney. Mr. Bush finally answered the question the trial had raised about him and the possible secret quid pro quo deal to repay Honduras for aiding the Contras.
Honduras, there was no quid pro quo. The word of the President of the United States, George Bush, is there was no quid pro quo. The records of the meeting demonstrate that there was no quid pro quo.
But documents that surfaced in the North trial suggest...
Yeah, buddy. You didn't get him.
There was no quid pro quo. The word of the President of the United States, George Bush, is
that's him.
There was no quid pro quo.
Did he just speak of himself in the third person?
Was he talking about me? Or?
No, he's talking about himself.
Because I didn't do any of that quiddy stuff.
There was no quid pro quo.
So back then, in 1989, they didn't do polling. They didn't do... you were born that year.
That's right.
They didn't... Well, this was a year that you were born. Apparently, people in America knew what quid pro quo meant.
I did.
This is my little example to say we're going backward. We're going backward, people. Look, I know I'm old, the old double nickel. I know I'm old, and I'm grumpy, and I'll concede all of that. And older people always think younger people are dumb. I'll concede all that. But I got lucky enough to be older at a time when it's absolutely correct that younger people are dumber. Now, the Democrats poll quid pro quo and find out most people don't know what the hell that means, so they got to change that to bribery. When back in the 80s,
there was no quid pro quo.
Oh, I get it. I get what the president's saying. I understand it. Okay, very good. I get it. All you have to do is just look at what's going on with social media and these musicians and athletes who have decided. First of all, this is a dumbing down. When you decide that when you write something, like say you write a letter, nobody writes letters anymore. But if you were to write a letter, that you would write it as you speak. So if you say "y'all get all that," now that's the writing. So if you go to Twitter or something, somebody famous, y'all think loud and nah nah nah. Dat.
Watch you.
Yeah, all of that.
What you doing?
And then emojis, because people just don't have a vocabulary anymore. I'll just mash that thing. People know what I mean. If you don't use language, if you don't have a large vocabulary, you cannot communicate your ideas to others unless you are so poorly educated by your teachers and pop culture that the ideas actually generate in your mind as and then the mumble rap. What did he say? He said
something about money.
Something about money and how I don't like him having it.
Yeah.
And then, hey, that famous guy who sang that mumbly song, he just tweeted.
Oh, man, I get it, man. Yes. Speak, man. Yes. Truth.
You know what? I really don't care about your point of view. I just want to know it's got street cred, because that's the most... Again, dumbing down. What's more important? Having ideas, being able to communicate those ideas, or street cred? Hey, yeah.
Hey, I get the bands.
When do they start paying for that? What is that? What do you get a year for having a degree in street credibility?
$9 million.
Sorry, did you say $9?
About $9 million. I get the bands like the Roots.
It's just insane. It's just insane. So that's just a little bit. So remember this. The Democrats did a poll, found out that people didn't know what quid pro quo meant, and that's why you're hearing bribery all of a sudden. And here's my evidence from 1989 that we were smarter then.
There was no quid pro quo.
Let's do this.
It's time for studies, surveys, and polls on the von Haessler Doctrine. Woo!
All right, what you got? You guys study buzz in that poll.
Well, you know what?
Bands like the root highs and dies.
That's a real song, by the way, called Haagen-Dazs.
Well, I don't mind. Look, I don't mind in a song. I don't mind, have fun, colloquialism. I've said this before. Somebody from Boston, when they're writing you a letter in the 70s, they didn't say, they didn't write, so I had to park my car.
They don't say, has your mom, M-A-H-M?
Yeah, they don't write in there. I had to P-A-H-H-H-R-K my C-A-H-H-H-R. It's just, okay, you speak one way, but we all generally, we can continue to communicate to one another if we all agree on the written language. You see, it's a code. Language is a code. If I don't know the code, then you're not communicating anything to me. We all have to agree on what the words mean. But I digress. So, are you going to start with...
is that when you eat something in your stomach?
I'm going in reverse, is what I mean. I'm walking back.
You mean like you throw up?
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
Well, the last couple times we've done studies, surveys, and polls.
What do you got for me? You have a study, a survey, or a poll?
Well, we haven't done polls in a while, and this open micer caught on to it.
Speak for yourself.
Jared, Eric needs a poll. Give him a poll. If it could be a big poll, that would make him pretty happy. But just make sure of the study surveys, he also gets a poll.
How dare you?
I would say to that listener, sir, you offend me. This is a family-friendly radio show. And I will not have this, because I don't know about you guys, but I think that he was a little double entendre-ing there. He was double entendre-ing. And I will not have double entendre-ing on my show. The only ing that goes on this show is done by the host. We'll get to something when we get back. Study, survey, poll, whatever.
Get your daily dose of comic relief with Eric Von Haessler mornings at 9. Then shake off the daily stress.
It's gonna be all right.
With Mark Aram weeknights at 6 on 95.5 WSB.
Oh, it's us. We're back again. All right, what do I have to push now? We haven't gotten to one study, one survey, and or the poll that I've longed for so long.
Well, if folks want to sign up for those tickets for the big UGA Texas A&M game, you have less than 3 minutes to sign up. The portal closes at 11 sharp.
What is this, a telethon?
We will we will announce the winner, Eric, at 11:15.
And if you sign up now, you will get a coffee mug and a bag that says WSB on it.
You get the Von Haessler Doctrine. That's what I want, tote bags.
Yeah.
We're going to have pledge drives because although I just signed, what was my last deal?
$78 billion.
A year.
Yes.
Not enough. We need a pledge drive so that the Von Haessler Doctrine can get a few extra bucks. And we throw you, some kind of cheap tote bag. It's good enough for you. Hour 3 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins, right now, as a matter of fact. You're in the right place at the right time. Rush Limbaugh says I'm stealing his act because the Pretenders music is coming into the segment.
Every day there's a little bit more of you doing me.
I had nothing to do with that, sir. Nothing to do with that whatsoever.
You stole his theme music. Oh.
No, I use... Oh, what's that song called?
That's called
My Hometown.
Or I went back to Ohio, right?
My city was gone.
That's the name of the song.
My city was gone, just like I'm gone this week.
Yeah, you gone? I think you're back today.
Oh,
you
good.
were just gone yesterday.
Because I was bored yesterday. I couldn't listen to my own show.
I went over to the government radio there for a moment.
I did the same.
I paid for that. What do we have? Oh, I wanted to say that over the weekend I was back in my hometown. In Western New York at a wedding, and my wife and I, we had we felt like old people. We were at an Airbnb in the neighborhood where I lived, and we both worked when we met, and so we were having a good nostalgic time. And so there's a little coffee shop. This is in the hipster part of the city.
Okay,
we're in a coffee shop. And the bathrooms there said, I imagine there's some here too. I just don't see this very often. But in the bathroom on both bathrooms just said, whichever. Whichever. Now I got to be a witch to use the bathroom? That doesn't seem very inclusionary.
Where should I park my broom?
Dad jokes.
I predicted that she would say dad joke when I did that.
Well, you were right.
They're just jokes, Autumn. Just because I happen to be a dad doesn't bring down the level of humor.
And by the way, dad joke does not mean bad joke. Dad joke just means, I don't get it.
I think that's wrong. I think
it does not mean, I don't get it.
No, yeah, dad joke means bad joke.
All right.
Just like dad bod means bad bod. No, it doesn't matter how you look at it. So I think that we promised people studies, surveys, and polls in the last half hour, and it occurs to me that we didn't do any of those things.
Well, and you need a poll, and so I've got a poll for you.
I'm going to restart because my Clive Cliverson, my radio guru / consultant, he's always saying to me, he says, Eric, reset the topic.
Reset the poll.
Yeah, reset the topic. So I'll let people know what we're doing here. So we're doing this. Do it again. Do we have it? There it is. Magic.
It's time for studies, surveys, and polls
I promise.
on the von Haessler Doctrine.
This time we're really going to do
it. Hey, real quick, Eric.
Yeah, yes.
You know, it was really cold this morning.
It was. How cold was it?
I saw a hen crossing the road with a cape on.
I don't know why. I don't know. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain what just happened there. There's a new government ruling that it's called Fairness in Radio Doctrine. And it turns out that our audience is growing too large for the market. And so the government has forced us every once in a while to say something very stupid, unfunny, perhaps incomprehensible to the audience so that we may shed a few of our listeners and make it a little fairer competition.
People in their 60s got
all the way around. All the way around. But you told me last week people in their 60s don't buy anything. I'm confused.
Yeah, they buy drugs and pills and need lawyers.
Mesh.
That's why we have that acoustic therapy stuff. For,
oh boy!
In case you got the erectile dysfunction.
No, not here.
I'm not saying you. I've seen you. I'm just saying. Whenever I hear that acoustic therapy, I always think they're going to have Bob Dylan sit down next to me when I have my pants on. He'll just start strumming away.
All
right, that's it. You got me. I'm ready to go. All right, what do you have?
Gas.
A new ABC News poll says that 70% of Americans believe that Trump's actions tied to Ukraine were wrong.
You know, I believe this poll. Now, I know that we have people in our audience who don't believe any poll, except the ones. You ever notice that people believe the polls that agree with them? You know, no one in this crowd ever has a problem when we say a poll says that, for instance, many polls have said that, but he shouldn't be removed. There's the idea of, we think it wasn't good, but does it rise to the level of impeachment and removal? I think most Americans are happy with the idea, let's play that out next year in the election. You know, if you don't like this phone call, well, there's your gift for a political ad, right? So, and to say, well, do you want your president doing these sort of things? So I believe this part of the poll. I think the president has to be careful with this because, you know, he keeps on saying that everything is absolutely.
My phone call was perfecto.
Okay.
Perfecto.
Perfecto.
And he can keep saying that, but I think where the American people stand, my judgment on the American people and where they stand is that probably wasn't a great thing to do, and it wasn't a smart thing to do. It's okay to bring that up in a political campaign, and we as voters should be able to judge you based on that. But does it rise to the level of nullifying a presidential election, especially since we're within a year of when we're going to have the next presidential election? If this was 6 months into the term, maybe a little bit different. So I think that I believe this poll. I think most people think, hey, man, shut up and don't do that. It's not a good idea. It doesn't advance the cause of anything good for the country, and it's probably not a good idea. But does it rise to the level of nullifying an election, removing the president? I think most people believe it does not.
You better be careful, Eric. All that logic is turning some of the WSB listeners against you, like this guy.
WSB with your bull polls about the president. Your polls are bull. We love what he's doing. Screw the Democrats. Screw them and their corruption. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Eric, you've been busted.
Yeah, he caught us. We make those polls up and we throw them out
Put that
there.
in your pipe and smoke it.
All right, pal. I already admit it. You got me.
And put it in your pipe and smoke it, and then get stoned and sit back and listen to this. You do all your polls and that. I'm sick of these polls, liars.
Yeah, just blow off anything you don't agree with. I think that's the both sides are doing it,
That's
left
right.
and right. Why would I have a debate with that person? Why debate my ideas would normalize your ideas? Therefore, yes.
Sorry, it sounded like a sports thing, like screw the dogs, you know what I mean?
Alabama should be in the top 4. How you take that and put that in your pipe and smoke
Yeah, it was less based on fact and more just like, well, this is my team, so screw your team.
I would tell this gentleman that was an ABC News poll, not a WSB poll.
You should be more discerning in the polls you talk about.
We decided it in the beginning,
Hey,
sir.
he's not the only one that's upset.
You want to fire me up? You want to get me mad?
All right, Clark, back off, man.
Wow.
Hey, guess what? It's time for us to give away those tickets. And I got to just find my piece of paper here that has the name on it.
You know what?
And here it is.
Sounded
I have it.
Sounded a lot like Rush with your paper.
All those
Rush.
papers going, jeez.
You are like Rush today with all those papers.
I am not stealing anybody. You know what? I'll stop stealing your act if you give me a free Apple phone.
Well, who's your carrier?
I should have said iPhone, an Apple phone. Willie Houston of Marietta and Robert Masadpour of Kennesaw, you both have won 2 tickets to see UGA versus Texas A&M this weekend in Athens. And here's the thing. You don't even have to call us. Don't call us. We'll call you. You're a winner because that's what we do. Hey, that rhymed.
That is pretty awesome.
So, yeah, I think I've given you my opinion on that last poll. And let's go to, I don't care if you give me a study. I don't care if you give me a survey. Just give me something.
All right, I've got a joint study. How about that?
Oh, is this about the chronic?
This is a
joint study? Is this done by conjoined twins?
No,
Make sure you pull the seeds out because it'll pop.
Yeah.
This is a joint study from the University of Texas and Boston College.
Oh,
and
wow, that's a long way to go. But you know what? Texas, Boston, this has been done before. I think somebody remember the Kennedy LBJ ticket that was so successful. This is what they call the Boston to Austin connection. This is not so new. So they've done good work together before, these 2 states.
Yes, they've just decided to combine forces again here.
That's right.
And they've found that Starbucks' open bathroom policy may be hurting their foot traffic.
Oh, yeah, what a surprise. Didn't Eric von Haessler say this from the very beginning? This is what he said. Oh, yeah, if you're homeless and you want to go to the bathroom in our sink and bathe yourself in our commode, yeah, come right in. Hey, Chunky's welcome. Put that out there on the signs. No shoes, no shirt, no service, but Chunky's welcome.
Oh, that's good to hear.
What a surprise.
Do you have a rag?
What a surprise.
A rag?
What a surprise that when you changed your policy to allowing homeless people and junkies to bathe in your commodes, that people decided, maybe I'm going to go to a different coffee joint. This is probably, they're really, really cruel over there at Caribou. They check your papers when you walk in. It's a certain type only.
Papers, please. If you have to use the restroom, we have buckets in the back.
It's like, for me, it's Hess stations.
Hess?
Not Hess.
No, you're right, Hess.
Is it Hess? When I'm traveling, they have pretty good bathrooms. Like, I know in the back of my mind.
And you
What
can buy
about the
that
truck ones?
What?
What about those
the
big
truck?
truck
I got
ones?
fat truckers showering in the stall next to me. I don't want to be a part
you
of that.
doing, buddy?
People are buying those big mirrors, and I just don't want to be a part of that.
Cab.
Yeah, I don't want to be propositioned by a trucker. So so I think Starbucks, obviously people go for the coffee and get that, but they did get a reputation for having awesome bathrooms because it was one at a time. You could lock the door, weren't bothered, and ladies and gentlemen enjoyed that. I can't remember what it was. Was it that incident with the 3 people who said they were discriminated against a couple years ago? So
it was part of that, but then there was.
Oh, that's right. They came in and sat down and didn't order anything.
Yeah.
And so now it's, okay, anybody can come in, anybody can use the bathrooms, and what a surprise. What a surprise that people don't want to mingle with junkies and homeless people. And every time I say this, I'm going to get the self-righteous people. I can't believe that you would speak of your fellow human beings in such a way. And homelessness is not a laugh. It's, you know what? I'm the only one that I know in this country who's willing to say we need to do something about homelessness. The rest of you have the Mother Teresa problem. I was never a fan of Mother Teresa. You want to know why? Because she would never tell the people in Calcutta, hey, you ought to go down to City Hall and tell these people that you want ownership of some of this stuff. She would just pet you on the head as you died. And I think that's exactly... I'm not a fan of that kind of thing. You know what? I want to do something about homelessness rather than sit around and just be really empathetic. You're not helping anybody. Homelessness is not a good thing. It's not a choice. It's not a lifestyle choice. There's usually drug abuse or clinical mental stuff going on there. And if you don't address that, then don't hit me with some self-righteous letter about how I said something about the homeless, because all you want to do is a virtue signal. I'm an answers man.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Hell yeah. It is the season of giving. 95.5 WSB is partnering with Publix supermarkets and the Atlanta Community Food Bank, collecting donations for the Triple Team Traffic Food Drive. I'll get it out. Stop by the Publix at 2451 Cumberland Parkway at Paces Ferry Center, Tuesday, November 19th. That would be today. WSB's Smiling Mark McKay is going to be there from 4 to 6. Mark Aram's going to be there from 6 to 8. Make a difference in your community with the help of Publix and 95.5 WSB. You know the problem, and maybe I'm going to sound unenlightened here. I don't know. I think of myself as an enlightened person, but that's for others to judge. Am I right? I don't think I'm unenlightened. But the problem with... the whichever bathrooms. I was saying earlier, my wife and I were at a coffee shop, and the bathrooms just said whichever, not men, women, just whichever. And the problem with that, and maybe I'll be seen as an old fogey here, but let's say I'm drinking a nice cup of coffee, right? And I'm enjoying myself. And let's say there's a pretty girl. Are you allowed to say pretty girl anymore?
Yeah, attractive
woman. Strong.
On this International Men's Day, I think it's fine if you say that there's a pretty girl out there.
You can't
pretty
say,
troubling.
Hot chickadee is not good anymore.
Yeah.
But I say a strong, empowered.
Yes.
Really hot.
Wait.
Oh, no?
No.
Wrong? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, but I'm getting close, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, for many reasons, also, and one of those reasons, next to empowered, strong female, would be attractive.
How about symmetrical?
Highly symmetrical. Okay. So much so that as I'm drinking my coffee, it's changing my biology, let's just say.
Oh, okay. Sure.
I'm trying to figure out a way to say.
She's a snack.
This didn't even happen. This is just an abstract concept.
Right.
So let's say that she's good-looking lady. She goes into the whichever, and then I'm done, and she comes out, and then I got to use that whichever bathroom. And let's say she's messed the joint up.
Girls don't do that.
Yeah, they sure do.
They do in coffee shops.
Messed up the joint.
Let's say she left remnants behind.
They would never do that.
It was disgusting.
All right.
And hold on. I'm not at my point. Let's not. My point is, am I wrong to not want that to happen just because it's going to ruin my first impression? Like, oh, hey, look at that. She's so cute and pretty and lovely. And then I follow her because we both use the same whichever bathroom. And then I get hit with, I might as well be walking into a fraternity bathroom at 3 o'clock on a Saturday morning. And then that changes all my, nice fluttery feelings.
Yeah, but you know what it teaches you?
What does it teach me? Never to follow a girl into the bathroom.
Well, you shouldn't follow a girl into the bathroom.
Really?
What if she? What if I know her?
She wants to be alone.
Oh, is that alone time?
She doesn't want you to follow her.
Let me get a pen here. I got to write this down. The rules are changing so much now. We can't follow women into the bathroom. Okay.
I remember the days when you could assault women in a bathroom and no one said boo.
Who said assault? I'm just following and looking.
I'm talking about following. Yes.
What it does is it reminds you that she is a human being.
Why do I have
the same as you? And is not an object for you to deem beautiful or to put on.
Isn't that wonderful? So we should never. Does it go the other way? Is it wrong for women to look at some guy who's really good? I always use George Clooney, but he's like 60 now. So who right
John
now?
Legend is the sexiest man alive.
No, is it wrong? Okay, let's just say for debate purposes of debate that John Legend is it wrong? Does it go both ways? Is it considered cave woman-like behavior for a woman to go, oh, that guy, man, he is sexy. I love him. Or
it's
is
different because
it's
man.
Different.
Yes, because no. Because a man who is the sexiest man alive, let's say, like Brad Pitt.
Or me.
Or, okay.
Wow.
You know, you're with him and he farts.
Yeah.
And you're not shocked. Right? You're like, oh, he's a dude.
Right.
A beautiful woman does it, and it's like, oh, what are you doing?
No,
You're ruining my image of you.
I think they should go to jail. But that's if I was a politician. If I was crafting legislation. Yeah, you know how you have those kind of weird laws like you can't spit on a street corner or something? Yeah. I'd toss that one in. Women can't fart.
No crossing a giraffe on Main Street on a
women
Tuesday.
can't fart in public. And maybe it's a fine.
I think but it should be just people shouldn't fart.
Guys have to.
Yeah.
All right.
We got things to do.
Yeah.
Well, and also
sometimes you're a congressman. You're on with on hardball. And
Hey, by the way, this was Eric Swalwell?
Yeah.
Let me go back to this.
President Swalwell.
Future President of the United States, Eric Swalwell, and Fartgate. Now I realize he was standing up. And he not only that, he was doing one of those interviews where they're out there in the rotunda. So that's the worst place. Because if you make noises out there, it's Echo City. So, in fact, Eric Swalwell, who denies to this moment, Chris Matthews, it was your show, Hardball. How do you feel about being treated like that?
Yeah, it's very disrespectful to have a guy like Eric Swalwell who really wasn't that big of a, he didn't make much of an impact. You come on the show, I got to talk to this clown, and he's farting.
Let's see.
Chris, so far, the evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard from Republicans...
I don't care how educated you are. There's no way. You don't laugh at that. And I've thought about that quite often. There are so many panel shows. There are so many people. You used to tune in. It was like a half an hour. It was Walter Cronkite or whatever your flavor was, Eric Severide. Maybe two people. Didn't Roger Mudd and some other guy?
Brinkley and Huntley.
Brinkley. It was Hunt and Brinkley or whatever it was. You just have these guys. But now every show we watch, there's like 17 people.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. And they're all humans. As I've said before, it's part of the von Haessler doctrine, one of the tenets of one of the reasons why Eric has never been interested in orgies. Because one of the von Haessler doctrine tenets is that you get 10 people nude in a room, somebody's passing gas.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way 10 people can control that. Yeah. You get Eric Swalwell in there. You think, hey, this guy, he ran for president. Let's let him into our orgy.
Oh, get out of here.
If we believe him that he didn't do it, there's a lot that has to go into this scenario where there's someone in a chair, like some security guard or something. He shifts in his seat at the exact same time as he takes that pause.
Yeah, he took a pause. His eyes bugged out a little bit.
Yeah, his shoulders went forward a little.
Yeah. We had our forensics guy on earlier. What was your name?
I don't remember.
I forget your name.
It was something like a...
John Fartgetter.
He told us that was definitely Swalwell.
If you look at his body image, or not his image, if you look at his body language when that happens, right in that moment, you can see there's just a slight lean in. He's trying to make it so it won't be audible, but I don't think he was able to. I mean, I know how to do it, but it's family show. I can't do it.
Exactly at that time.
You got to open up and...
We hear the noise.
Yeah, that's not good.
All right, here's the thing. Okay. Sometimes you run for president the first time and it doesn't work out, but it's not so bad because you think, well, I was vetted. People will know I don't have any skeletons in my closet. The press looked at me. Next time around, people will know who I am. Maybe I do better. I say this moment right here says Eric Swalwell will never be president of the United States. So one of my two work dads, Pete Spriggs, comes in. And he's usually a big booster of the show. He put me on the air here. And he says, I've been listening this morning, and it sounds really boring. I mean, you guys just keep droning on and on about things nobody cares about. And then I had to stop. At first, I was hurt, but then it occurred to me, and I stopped, and I said, wait a minute. What were you listening to? He said, I was listening to AM 750. I said, hey, you dummy. We split the signal during the impeachment hearings. You weren't listening to the show. You were listening to the impeachment hearings. And everyone else can do that as well, because we split the signal whenever the impeachment hearings are going on. If that's your cup of tea, I cannot imagine why that would be. You can go over to AM 750, and it's all impeachment hearings as long as they're on. Gavel to gavel, as we say.
That's right.
But if you enjoy being not only informed, but also entertained, well, you keep it right here on the FM side, 95.5 WSB.
I'd like to reclaim my time, please.
Yeah, let's go over there for a moment and see what's going on.
Yes, I'd like to reclaim my time. Is it true that when you were on the phone call with President Trump, he said that he wanted to strangle all of them with his bare hands? No, I didn't hear that, but that was in the transcript.
Yeah. You know what, by the way, I forgot about this. We got, because we're the Von Haessler Doctrine, we got a hold of one of these phone calls. I don't know. We get access that others don't have. We got one of these phone calls that, this is the one that people heard. He was speaking so loud on the cell phone that people were having dinner out on the veranda. They could hear the president, right?
That's right.
And so I don't know what he's talking about here, but he needs to bring his voice down a little bit. You're the president of the United States, you know?
Have you spoken to President Zelensky? Do they know that we're not going to send them any of our military aid? No money until they start investigating Joe Biden. Find out if Obama orchestrated this whole coup. Did I eat pierogies? I want a whole bunch of pierogies. Look, if I don't get those pierogies I ordered, then I ain't getting any aid. Do you want us to do naval exercises in the Black Sea? I don't want to upset Russia. Don't want to upset Russia. Here's what we're going to do. We'll put fake boats out there, but not until you get to the bottom of Hunter and Joe Biden. They're so corrupt. All right, I gotta go. No, I gotta go. Well, do you want to hear me flush the toilet?
The president. You might want to keep. You're like my wife. Every time she's on the other end of a cell phone call with my kids, I can hear both sides.
Look, when you're on the phone. Okay, well, I am a loud talker, but when you're going to the bathroom, I mean, what is it? Look at the wall again? Count the tiles again? No, I'm on the phone.
So hold on here. So the idea is, you wanted free pierogies.
Free pierogies, yes. Well,
before you unleash the money.
Look, but I can send Melania.
Isn't that Polish or Russian pierogies?
Well, it's some Slavic crap. Look, you take pasta and you put potatoes in it, maybe some onions, cheese.
Yeah.
It's delicious. Don't boil it in water, cook it in a frying pan. Look, you can go get Mrs. T's at the store. They're awful. I want them fresh.
This is what the whistleblower was talking about. It was pierogies for guns.
Pierogi gate.
This is what the whistleblower was. By the way, around here... Who was that?
Mr. Von Haessler was not me, sir.
Is that you?
He was on his phone. I saw that. I saw it.
Who? I'm going to... Huh? Autumn?
What?
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. I will find out. I will find out. I will find the whistleblower.
Yeah, good.
Eric Swalwell's the whistleblower.
The gas... What? The gas blower. Who blew the gas? Hey, look, hey, I'm not going to have it here. And first of all, I have an open door policy, and if you have a problem, then you just come to me and you just talk about it. There's no need for a whistleblower on this show. I will find you. And when I find you, well, you will have been found.
When is the real whistleblower going to be in these hearings?
Well,
when's the real whistleblower going to be in these hearings?
Well, that's, what's his name? Eric something?
Do you want me to say it?
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody else is saying it.
Eric Ciaramella.
Yeah, that's the name.
Ciamarella. CIA, right in his name.
It's I think it's hilarious that everyone acts like, well, we can't say. It's out there, right?
Yeah, it is.
Everyone's already, and I don't know. It's just, the guy blew the whistle. There he is. Say that name again.
Eric Ciaramella.
Yeah, that's him. There he is.
There he is. Tweeting away. Bleep, bleep, bleep.
Let's say it's so hard to find the whistleblower. Just look for a guy with a whistle in his mouth. I don't know.
Is he a referee?
That was your cue to say dad joke, Autumn.
Oh.
I wasn't listening.
Are you doing your nails again?
Yep.
Well,
but here's the problem. They say no stereotypes, Eric. You got to have a woman on the show. She's doing her nails. She's doing her nails.
I think I'm nervous, and sometimes when I'm
Why
nervous,
are you nervous?
I pick at my nails.
Am I making you nervous?
She rips her cuticles to pieces.
Is it because I'm zeroing in on who might be the whistleblower around here?
You have a right to face your accuser.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying.
And her nails.
Oh, well, they're kind of gross.
I can't do that long one. Do you know how much time we have?
That's not what I heard.
All right. I'm going to HR.
Now he's the whistleblower.
We have to tell people that we're going to go to the Podcast 30.
Yes.
And if they want to join us on the Podcast 30, because we don't do that on the radio, we do that as a podcast. And if you want to join us, what you would do is you would go to the Von Haessler Doctrine Facebook page or the WSB Radio Facebook page, click on the red box, and you will actually see it like it's on television right in front of your face. Now, very quickly, what do you want to say?
If you want to see smiling Mark McKay and Mark Arum later tonight, stop by the...
Oh, I thought it might be one of them.
Stop by the Publix at 2451 Cumberland Parkway at Pace's Ferry Center to help out the Atlanta Community Food Bank. That'll be from 4 to 8 tonight. Go help them out.
And, first of all, there's no need for a whistleblower out here. I feel like I have run an open shop around here. All right, is that music ending? Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. All right, the Podcast 30 starts right here and right now. I'm Eric Von Haessler. I am the host of the Podcast 30. I do not do this alone. I bring in friends, family, loved ones, stragglers. Tim Andrews is here. English fingers.
Talking of British stragglers.
Snap. He's back. I want to ask you questions.
Oh, he's back. He's back in the building.
Yeah. And you know what? Ever since English Nick has been back.
Yeah.
I thought it might be him.
Prince Andrew.
I can't hear the sound.
Oh, he can't hear the sound.
She can't hear the sound.
I suppose we're supposed to stop everything.
Well, I'm just saying, if you play something, I won't hear it.
Couldn't have been.
Wait a minute.
Sweat.
Wait a minute. How did you hear me say that? If you can't hear the sound. Oh, you can't hear the sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Kind of inside jokes now.
Okay, we'll fix it. Jared Yamamoto is on J-Red's on the tunes. Look at that. It's Tad Tuesday. There's Tad. It's Lemire, is it not?
It is.
5.
Lumiere.
Yes.
It's Tad .5.
From B98 point whatever.
That's right. Autumn Fisher can't hear the elements, but she can hear me. That's all that
Can
matters.
you hear me, Alton?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I hear both.
Hi.
I hear both of you. And believe me, I know what's going on. You will be identified.
Are you jet lagged, Nick?
Whoa.
Let's get to it a little bit.
First of all, Autumn Fisher's not the host of the show.
Oh.
She doesn't start the show.
Well, I sounded like the host.
She had a question.
So why don't you just back off, woman, and let me ask English Nick.
Hey.
So did you have jet lag?
You get home. And you're obviously you've been up all day, right? Because you wake up at 8:30 in the morning to get from the West Country.
6 hours ahead.
5 hours ahead there.
All right.
So you're up at 8:30. That's already 3:30 a.m. Atlanta time. You don't get back to Atlanta until 7:30 at night.
No, you're saying me.
It's a long day.
Oh,
me.
Okay.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
One. That's
one
right.
would not.
I gotta say,
Right.
Delta have stepped up their game when it comes to the service and the food and everything. Hats off to Delta.
They got plenty of ginger ale.
Oh, they have plenty of doers. Doers and ginger ale.
I don't get drunk on planes.
Just a couple of cocktails in a 9-hour flight. It's not a lot, Eric.
I think the idea of alcohol at 30,000 feet with a bunch of strangers stuck together in a cabin is a really bad idea.
It's a good time to share stories.
I don't talk to people very often on planes.
Oh, AirPods saved my life.
Yeah,
this last weekend, oh my goodness,
AirPods saved my life that night.
Saved my life.
So anyway, you wake up this morning at 6 o'clock thinking it's time to get up.
Yeah.
For you, it is normally.
For me, I wake up at 4:15.
See, me normally, I'm up at 9, in here by 10,
Lazy.
and so I just woke up early and watched some TV.
Yeah, what'd you watch? Little judge shows?
I've been catching up on The Watchmen, but then there was a very interesting documentary on HBO.
Where's that loop? What's that sound?
The
loop?
buzz or something.
Buzz sound. I don't even think isn't everything digital? Is somebody plugged something into something?
Someone's got an old Marshall lamp. It's an old Marshall. Kevin Kinney's here plugging in the Marshall lamp.
Remember when somebody would vacuum and the TV would go nuts?
Yeah. I miss those days.
I mean,
you microwave and the lights shut off.
Yeah.
No.
What are you? Did you grow up in a hut somewhere?
No, that happens in apartments sometimes.
Stealing electricity
we
from the next door
electricity from the light pole.
What? How come I brought up a thing and it doesn't make sense? And you guys made it up.
How come you're so defensive? What's going on with you?
I just don't understand why.
It's Men's Day.
I've been gone a week and it's still the same. Same old misogyny in this room.
Hold on. Yeah, Mattel was right about me.
I heard that.
Oh, she
Eric.
heard that.
Oh, yeah. It's International Men's Day. We never got to hit these.
Shut up. Hold on a second.
One thing at a time.
I think that Autumn has been very touchy today. Like, if I just go a little bit one direction, she throws her hands up and she's, like, looking at me.
Is that flow in time?
I think I've been more than fair today.
When did I do that?
Oh, something earlier. I was like, I said, well, I was going a different direction. You were like,
is it?
You said, let me make my point. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what? And not because of you always make things about yourself.
Maybe this has something to do with my suspicion of you.
What was that? I don't even know what that was.
Every time, every time I hear her talk, say anything.
I think that you're wonderful. And
she's the whistleblower.
Yeah, we can't hear that.
I can tell.
It's not being blown by my mouth.
I started to watch this documentary this morning.
Okay.
That's why I can speak.
I'd hate to know what is.
Hey!
I could make anything worse.
One thing is...
That's what your wife said.
It's Tim. I can make anything worse, Andrews. All right, let's start with you. And let's not all talk all over each other. So,
real quick, documentary is about it's the only call center in the country for veterans.
Oh.
And it starts out, we lose 22 veterans a day to suicide.
Well, now you're bumming me out.
I'm just saying, that was on. It's worth watching because we need to know this.
Sure it is, but you're bumming me out now.
You asked me what I watch, man.
I'm starting my podcast.
You asked me what I watch.
You're bringing me down.
I'm not trying to bum you out. It's a fact.
I watched Schindler's List this morning. It was really uplifting.
You.
No, of course, it's a great cause.
Which leads me to say, don't forget to support the Veterans Empowerment Organization right here in Atlanta.
Here.
They help out veterans who've kind of lost their way and they get them housing and all this stuff. It's amazing.
And there's a documentary on what?
It's the only call center in the country.
But is it on Netflix?
It's on HBO.
HBO.
Yeah. So anyway, jet lag. Yeah, you wake up early thinking it's British time, and
my wife comes back from England, and she's about the third day.
She was gone for a while.
Shut up. It shouldn't take that long.
How long was she gone for?
She was gone for about 14 days.
Well, that'll do it. Yeah.
14 days of bliss.
I was gone for 7 days.
14 days of peace.
Great
and
fishing.
harmony.
Oh, for you. I thought for her.
Oh, great. Yeah. No, for me. I mean, I was able to get drunk and then drunker and drunker and drunker.
My Lord.
One night I just slept on the floor in the middle of the living room.
It's amazing you got to
That's
work.
because you hit your head.
No decorum whatsoever.
Blood coming out of your ear 2 days later.
There was that one week. There was that one night. There was that one night. I woke up the next day and thought, if things had gone just a little bit differently, people would have found me here.
Now that's not on a weeknight, work night. That's on the weekend. You're doing that.
The Friday into Saturday.
Yeah.
When are you freer than a Friday going into a Saturday, and your wife's in England?
Oh my God.
But what do you do with that time? Like, how is it any different than when your wife's there?
Well, you spend all day Sunday deleting that history from the computer.
You can walk around in that robe with nothing on underneath it.
First of all, it's a great advantage to be able to invite your mistresses to you and not have to always be traveling.
Run around.
What a gentleman.
Yeah, I do. And it's really nice. It's like I have my own Airbnb. They get their own soaps and
Airbnb.
Yeah.
Do they pick up takeout? Do you get them to pick up takeout on the way over?
Yeah, they bring me stuff.
Saves you the ordering food.
This is how I did. I just started. I made the DoorDash lady my mistress.
Smart.
I get everything.
Don't forget.
That's a life hack.
It is a life hack. Make the Uber Eats or DoorDash lady.
What happens when the wife's home? You got to handle it on the front
You know
seat?
what I do? How do you think I'm losing all this weight? I only eat when she leaves town.
Yeah, how did you stick? Did you stick to your sort of diet when you were on the road?
Not so. I mean, look. Here's the thing. Yeah, for the most part, because to me, overeating is so much less than what it used to be for me. So I woke up and I ate a bagel. and then I had lunch an hour and a half later, which I would never do.
That's overeating now.
That's overeating to me. And I had, I enjoyed myself, but I didn't go crazy. First of all, I went for a wedding food. I don't care if the Rockefellers are marrying into... Name another famous
The
food.
Hearst.
The
Kardashians.
Wedding food always sucks.
Yes, it
Really?
does.
I've had good wedding
Well, you
food
have
the last
no
couple
taste.
Yeah, you have
That's
no
not true. We had
expectation.
barbecue. We had Fox Brothers at the one I was at.
All right, what'd you? The hillbillies? What'd you?
No, that's just good.
That's smart.
I saw the
Thank
pictures. It was
you.
classic.
Yeah, it
I
was
saw him
beautiful.
on a high rise. Was it in a
Yeah,
high rise?
let me say
99 Peachtree.
Yeah, I'm not on social media. So
99 Peachtree, and it.
Let me just say this.
Biatch ain't one.
Actually, truthfully, barbecue is the best, serve yourself big event. It's the easiest thing that you can make that tastes good for a lot of people.
Right.
But it's impossible to do the, it's just like, I don't know what the meat was.
Last wedding I went to
was like chicken and the spaghetti. It was like rigatoni with no flavor. I said, hey, this is my request. Could I have rigatoni
with flavor?
A sauce with no flavor whatsoever. Like I don't even know it's there. It just greases the rigatoni. Just greases the pasta.
It'll slide down your gullet.
Slide down.
It's like the spoonful of sugar.
Yes.
I went to a wedding of a local media luminary in 2015.
Oh, luminary.
Mark Aram?
No.
Oh.
No. Actually, it might have been 2014. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Southside?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And no one liked the food.
Great food.
So a couple of us got some chicken fingers from the kitchen.
Was the food bad that way?
It wasn't bad, but it was wedding food.
I can tell you the truth. It was a shocker to me the day that I lost my job there. Mm-hmm. I was not expecting it.
A shocker?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. And so when I was told that I was losing my job and I was walking out, amidst all I didn't think this was going to happen. And as I was in the elevator, by the time I got in my car, though, it occurred to me, wow, I'm off the hook. I don't have to go to that wedding anymore. So there was a bright side. I swear to God, it hit me as I got to the car.
Well, you still could have, maybe if things had been different after the firing, think you could have gone?
Things were not different after
That's
the
what I'm
firing.
saying.
It
If
was
they had been.
It was, by the way, don't say fired. I don't like this Tad.
Let go. Sorry, let go.
You're a media fellow. You're a host.
Removed.
Unlike the rest of these, we're on the same
You're
level.
phased out.
Yeah, I don't like.
No, you were requested. You were escorted from the building.
In radio,
it's more appropriate.
In radio, I don't understand this.
Expelled.
TV shows.
You were suspended.
TV shows, you get canceled.
Right.
In radio, you get fired. That just shows you right there. There's zero respect
Neither
for
are the above.
the radio.
You were not renewed.
Well, there's more than that. It was more than that. I had another 3 months left to not be renewed. I didn't think I was going to be renewed, but it was a surprise on that day. Do you know about that day? Have I ever told you how that worked? So I get off the air.
Did you steal any chicken fingers on your way out?
I stole more than that.
You got all those pens.
Yeah. I
so
got
many
them.
Post-its for days.
I got them.
No, tell me.
So
T-shirts.
I get off the air. It's a Monday. Why do it on a Monday? Like, aren't you supposed to fire people on
I
Friday?
wasn't there on Friday.
Get out of the way, right?
Oh, was that the reason why?
Get out of the way.
Mr. Guy, who I can't remember your name, who
You
fired
can call me
me.
Willy Wonka.
You weren't there on Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to fire somebody, be respectful enough to not make them go through the prep process of Monday.
Right.
So I'm going through the weekend thinking I got to do something. So I get there on Monday. As soon as the show's over, this guy with the curly hair.
Yeah, how you doing? I'm the rock program director for Cumulus.
I think he rolled out of a rehab bed in Nashville or something. Next thing you know, I had zero, I don't know who the hell he was. So he says, I want to talk to you. He sounded just like that. So,
I do some stand-up.
Did you like him before he let you go?
No one was.
I didn't like him or not like him. He was neutral. To me, he was just another one of those guys.
Hey, I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen a million of them. So
we've been fired a few times. Let me let go.
He says, "I'll come to my office," and so I go and I sit down, and he says, Eric, I was brought in here to.
Hang on. HR person's there too, right?
Yeah, the HR person's there.
Oh, that's
just me and the
that's
HR
when you
person.
know.
Then you know.
You knew then, right?
Nah,
you had to.
Well, it was starting to occur.
You put the HR person.
You put that together with. Eric, I was brought in here too. He got that far. And I said, hold on, are you firing me? I said, well, yeah, we are. And I got up and I said, okay, bye. And I just left. I went out the back way. I went out the
service
service elevator. And what is this, Mad Libs? People throwing stuff at me. I went up the service elevator, so I didn't want to be walking around where people knew. And I was literally, from the time in between I got fired from my job and the show that I had been a part of since, really, in one way or another, since 1989. And this is what, 2013, I think? So within all that, I was actually in my car, started and driving out of the parking lot within 5 minutes of the end of the show. And in between, I lost my job.
It was the quickest let go ever.
The only other thing that, on the way out, I also said, well, I don't have to come in, right? Because sometimes they'll make you like, come in and empty the ashtrays or something. No, I said, no. So I get to just stay home. I get paid for the next 3 months, non-compete.
You didn't give them any satisfaction whatsoever.
I wasn't going to sit there and listen to some guy who doesn't have the amount of talent in radio that I have in my pinky nail explain to me why he was brought in.
Yeah, that's what. Aren't you dying to know what he was going to say?
No,
I was brought into. You were brought into what? To fire me? Excuse me, expel me?
I stopped listening to this guy after he'd been there for like a week or two or something, and I ran into him in the hallway, and he said, hey, man, I really appreciate your role in the show. I wanted to punch him in the face. I wanted to take him and say, look, I'm not some local comedian who was added to the show 2.5 years ago. I invented this damn thing. But I didn't do that because he had a perm. And,
never
what's that
fight
song?
A man with a perm.
Yeah, he had a perm, didn't he?
Yeah, I had a perm, and I like to wear a top hat. Not a top hat, but, one of them fancy hats.
This guy in his first meeting with everybody, it was so funny because remember when you were there, Nick, in the conference room there, and there was one part where he looked like he was Tom Cruise in a really bad Tom Cruise movie. He was talking about how he likes to win, and then he stops and he goes, I just like to win. I want to win.
Oh, my Lord.
And I'm sitting in the back going, oh, my goodness.
Well, you took a job at the wrong company.
Yeah, you got the wrong company beginning with C, my friend.
What I wanted.
Then you pipe and smoke it.
Yeah. The whole, how afterward you always think about all the things that you should have said. If I would have stuck around for his, I was brought in here to ... I would have said, well, you're kind of new to this market. What you might want to do is take a look at ratings books going way back to, say, I don't know, 1999. And I'm going to help you out there. Basically, wherever you see that the ratings are really, really, really good, that's when Eric had a lot of influence in the show. And then when it goes down, that's where I either was pushed out or tapped out, depending upon who you ask. So good luck to you.
He was probably relieved that you just did that because he didn't have to go through that whole uncomfortable experience.
Yeah, but he's not the kind of person that would be uncomfortable with that.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Right? He wanted to do it.
I think I was brought in here to decide that really, Eric Von Haessler, you're the problem. You're the reason things aren't working.
You were like, this is my letting. It's like, I hate when people make they're like, you're throwing an intervention. You start by talking about you. It's like, it's my intervention.
Yeah, it's my, exactly. I don't care why you were brought here.
It's
the same thing when. Go ahead. It's the same thing when people are complainers at restaurants. They don't feel guilty like normal people complaining to the waiters. They like it.
Oh, they like it. And managers like firing people.
Yeah, not all managers, but someone like that.
But this guy didn't have the kind of power where he had made that decision, right? He was just the messenger.
I think he was kind of a mess. They probably brought him in and said, "Hey, you listen to this show and tell us what you think."
Oh, right, okay.
And then I had the ex-partner. Hey, it's his fault. Go ahead, push him out and give me all his money, and I can fix this thing. Yeah.
When you were gone, one of the first things they wanted to do was get me out of being the producer, which is fine. I didn't care.
Yeah.
So they posted an ad before they told me. So first of all, I'm looking on All Access because I wanted to leave.
Oh.
And I saw the ad.
For your job.
That was
for
like
my job.
That song, If You Like Pina Coladas.
It was. And so I'm like, I asked him, since you guys are, well, that's what we, we decided to take the burden off of you and let you blah, 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 blah. So they go 2-3 months.
Yeah.
No hires. They interview people. Finally, we get frustrated, and it's like, just make Seabass, whatever. So the guy brings me in the office, does this whole rigmarole. I need to talk to you. And, well, he does this whole thing. He goes, well, we had the ad out there for the executive producer. And, what's come to pass is that Seabass put his hand up that pause with the hand, put his hand up. And I interrupted and I said, so you're going to make Seabass the executive producer? And he goes, well, that's what. And I go, yeah, well.
Why do you people keep stealing my thunder?
I'm like, great. I said, great. I said, perfect. I go, how much is it going to affect my salary? Well, we're going to have to cut it back because you won't be doing the dues. I go, great. I expected all of this. I think Seabass is the perfect choice.
And
he's like, oh.
Yeah, it just. Well, I would say about this guy. He failed upward, right? As they all do.
I think he runs the entire.
This is what I would. This is in my mind what I would have heard if I would have sat there through it. Eric, I was brought in here to, sit in this chair for a few months, maybe a year or two, read what other people in my position around the country are doing to fix their stations. Just copy that, not have any new ideas until I either fail up or get busted out of here.
Is he still with the company?
Yeah, I think he failed up.
Yeah, he's in. He works their main.
If you listen to what the NAB/RAB radio show teaches you every year, you'll learn some great qualities about quality radio.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah. I think I do too. One thing you want to do? Win. I just want to win.
I had a guy one time, I went into his office. He was the GM of the radio station, and I was doing morning show and program director for a very short period of time. And he's sitting at his desk. I'm like, I got 1,000 things to do, and I'm still going to be here till 3 in the afternoon. And he goes, I see they made a change at the morning show in Des Moines. And I was like, okay,
yeah.
And then he was like, oh, I just read that, and I'm like, who cares?
Like, Des Moines.
Well, these are things you need to know, Todd, to be a well-rounded radio personality.
Is this your first time reading a trade?
Yeah.
Like,
first back then, because when I got into it in the late '80s, early '90s, trade magazines were still a thing. So people would get these magazines, and we made a joke out of it, not on air because I didn't have that kind of courage back then. But behind the scenes, we'd always make a joke where we would wager how far into the interview of the new program director at W or K, whatever, before he says he's here to take this to the next level. Every one of them said exactly. To me, if I hired you and I read that, I would fire you immediately. Well, obviously, we're not going to get anything out of you. Oh my God!
Yeah. I don't remember that geezer.
Yeah.
I don't remember him.
So it's just fake hair, right? It's like hair.
Oh yeah, it's fake hair.
It's because it's got that. It's that fake hair.
I got it off my legs.
What was his name? Troy Donahue.
Yeah, Troy Donahue.
He is. It's fake hair when it always looks like they just got out of the shower.
Yeah.
It's got that. Hey, did you just go swimming? No.
My leg hair is always greasy.
He was after my time at Cumulus. I don't remember him.
What does he do now? Is he like running the whole
programmer in Chicago, their big rock station there?
What's their big rock station?
I don't know, because the Loop is now Christian Broadcasting.
Oh, wow, they failed.
Yeah. Maybe he was the program director of the Loop.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, well,
Yeah, my job up here in Chicago is to take a heritage station like the Loop and destroy it. Mission accomplished.
Well, I'm actually going to take it to a lower level.
Yeah, I'm going to bring you down a few pegs.
You have to deal with this all the time. In our careers, right? Is like just constantly having to listen to these people tell you what's working somewhere else. I don't give a damn what's working somewhere else. I didn't get into something. I'm glad that you're here because I wanted to finish. You asked me something kind of caught me off guard last time. About why do I do all the work around the Christmas special when I don't have to? And I said, well, I love Christmas, which is part of it, but there's more to it than that. And it's that. Imagine this. We get into this for a living, and with the Christmas special, they let me totally break the entire format, be as creative as I want to be, as long as I don't lose the license. I have carte blanche. There's nothing they tell me I can't. I had to hug the great Fred Blankenship. When I saw him this morning, because he did his segment, and his break was while we were on the air yesterday, so I didn't get to review it until after the show. And man, did he nail it! He really got in. Well, no, but I thought that he would think, "Oh, Eric's kind of funny. I'll say yes." But he got into it, and it made me feel so good that like this guy not only took his time, but really threw himself into what I was asking him to do.
Do you feel understood and known?
I just feel respected, right?
All right,
if someone like the great Fred Blankenship not only takes the time, but really gives an award-winning sort of performance. That means he thought about it. It wasn't just at the last minute. In his mind, he had an idea that he brought to it, and it really got me jazzed and excited as we're putting together at the last minute this insane Christmas special.
I feel like I was
Yes.
I was going to text you last night. And am I doing anything?
You're doing a song. You're not telling what your song is.
Okay, good. I wasn't
bumped.
sure.
That's what we use in the radio business to say fired from the.
Hold on, guys. Step back. I didn't think this was going to happen now, but Autumn, I was brought here to make a few changes.
Are you telling me I'm not a part of anything?
Not at all. Yes.
Do I have to come in and empty the ashtrays?
No,
or
you don't. No, and
I
you
can
also
just go sit on my butt and get paid.
Yeah, you don't have to go to Southside Steve's wedding.
Okay,
You
yes.
have to steal chicken fingers at the wedding.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, good. I'll sing a song.
Is Randy going to be there? I got to figure out a thing for Randy to do.
Yes, she will be there.
Because I want Randy and Christina to be wearing the same outfit. I don't know why I see this. It doesn't have to be anything sexy or
What,
anything.
like in the same outfit or the? Or...
Yeah, I want them as if they're conjoined.
Just buy an
Jerry's
extra
been-
large.
Yeah.
Jerry's been thinking about that.
Hey,
obviously.
what do you need me to do?
You?
Yeah.
Yeah,
what am I doing?
There's a whole storyline that you're.
Yeah, what am I doing?
You gonna come
do
in a
I
bad
get
mood
to be
again?
involved in the storyline?
Like last year when you came in a bad mood? I'm like, oh, jeez.
That was 2 years ago.
wait,
He was
wait,
in
wait.
2
Grade
years?
last year. 2
Was
years
it last year or 2 years
We've
ago?
done
2 years
4
ago.
of these things.
Will there be a portion of it that is not on the air that'll be podcasted after that I can be involved?
Yes, Tad. We're doing we're doing the Christmas
Yeah,
party.
it's out in the parking lot.
Tad should make an appearance.
Somebody suggested in the Facebook chat that Greg and Tad finally just duke it out in the middle of the Christmas
that's a
special.
good
They
idea.
finally end their feud.
Listen,
Semi-nude
let me just say
wrestling.
this. Let me just say this. This show is going to be very different from the last ones, and with the audience, there should be no expectation that you're going to see a live presentation that's rhythmic, and we're just putting things
Together.
You're watching a sausage get
you're watching the sausage, but we're also going to do it. We'll have like a Christmassy thing, and like having a Christmas party with your favorite.
Chris
show.
Chandler will be there.
Chris Chandler is going to pre-produce his parts as well.
He won't be there.
A
with
lot
his
of it,
piano?
a lot of it will be pre-produced, and we'll just be putting it together when you get there. And what was I going to say about that? I wanted to make a point about the pre-production, and now I lost it because you said something about Chris Chandler, and that knocked me off. It's got nothing to do with the gummies, I promise you. It's Autumn's fault.
It's my fault
For knocking me off.
Because last year we during the breaks and things he would play piano and I would sing.
Well,
Christmas
right.
songs.
Now we're going to
Rockapella, baby.
It's going to be weird because he'll be appearing on the screen with news updates. So what I was going to say is,
Okay.
we're doing a lot of it. We're doing. We're shooting. There's going to be a TV special that's being shot at the same time, and so everything that we do will have a video component to it. The TV special will be different from the radio show. The radio show plays the first time on Thanksgiving, and then I think overall will play 7 times during the holiday period. But the other part of it, the TV aspect of it, is just going to drop 2 or 3 days before Christmas. And it'll be the guts of it will be the radio show, but there'll be a lot of different things. So we're producing this as a TV show, and the audio part of it is the radio thing. And this gets me to what I was going to bring up. Greg plays a very large role in this. And on Thursday, we're doing a lot of shooting without the audience. And then on Friday, we're going to put it together and shoot the other stuff. But if Greg gets too much inside of his own head, and I will tell you, it could get rough on Thursday. Because I need for Thursday to be done so that Friday we're just sort of throwing things together. And I'm hoping, I'm going to drop the David Lynch on Greg. I'm going to, when David Lynch directs you, you just stick to the script. You just do what the director
trust him, Eric.
I do trust him, but I've been going back and
You
forth.
don't trust
and he
him.
was talking about improvising. I'm like, well, we can improvise during the audio part of it. But in reality, you'll be lip syncing because he has a song. Greg Russ has a song, and that's going to be awesome. So I'm trying to tell him, no, we're going to record it. You'll lip sync to it, and then it's like you're 10 years old and you're performing one of your favorite Cat songs in your living room. Then you can throw all of your
So
stuff.
excited for that.
At that point, you're not trying to remember the lyrics or anything like that. You just throw it into the performance. But Greg is the villain, and it's the Von Haessler Doctrine Christmas special, the Greg that stole Christmas.
Well, remember, in years past, too, one of the reasons why you have to direct like that is because no matter how many times we've said something about the Percocet story, we've had to pull out of...
Yeah, there will be no Percocet story.
We have heard the Percocet story twice and had to pull it out of the Christmas special. Twice.
Just twice. And I put it on myself for not remembering the next year, but the low-key Thanksgiving, Christmas specials we used to do, just sitting around, having conversations. And I'd forgotten about his story the year before. 2 years in a row, because we taped these, we would go around the room and talk about your favorite Christmas. And I'd forgotten until I got to Greg again the second year, and he said, I told you last year. So the story is he came home and he took a Percocet and was sitting in the living room and just, and I'm like, this is a family special. So actually, 2 years in a row, Jared and I had to edit out the same Greg story.
The first year we had to edit it out. The second year you were smart about it. You were like, all right, we just got to redo that segment. We had to redo the first segment all over again.
That.
Yeah.
Do you remember the year? Actually, we should go back. This walk down memory lane. I think it was was it the first? I think it was it was the first or second Thanksgiving show, or what was the Christmas thing? And I didn't want any politics. And this is when Trump was on the rise.
Yes.
So this was 2016 before the election. So it was probably 2015 going into 2016.
Yes.
And Lucky Yates was on, and somehow all I said was something about whatever, and Lucky went into the whole artist, you shouldn't even talk about him or give him the time of day, you're normalizing him. And then we got in this long thing back and forth.
Yes!
It went 20 minutes, and then when it was over, I said, okay, cut that out. Let's do it. Let's just
New segment.
Do it again.
That was our one and only Thanksgiving special that we did back in 2015 when we were insane. We did
Turkey Tom.
We did Turkey Tom was a classic. Yeah. I love Turkey Tom. Yeah. But in 2015 we did a Thanksgiving,
we did Christmas and a New Year's,
and then we realized the next year we're like, okay,
we combined Thanksgiving and Christmas. Remember, we did 1 hour Thanksgiving, 1 hour Christmas, or something like that. And then we just said, hey, you know what? If you hear a Christmas show on Thanksgiving Day, it's fine. So now we play the Christmas show for the first time.
We've perfected the formula, and we made it a really good show now.
We perfected it by editing out the Percocet stuff.
And that's why.
How about my Christmas Eve story when my roommate came home and caught me having phone sex?
Did you tell that on the air?
No, never.
See, you knew not to tell that one.
Yeah.
And probably said something quaint about the time your grandma gave you...
Not phone sex.
Hey, look, whatever you're into, man, I'm not judging you.
1-900 grands are sexy or something.
Tad, I got to figure out a role for you.
I'll do whatever.
Dueling Tads. Do you like Christmas? Are you Jewish? I don't know.
No, I'm not Jewish.
No, you're in radio?
Yeah, I like Christmas,
are you
but not
sure,
any of the
Tad?
reasons you do.
Tad, are you sure you're not Jewish?
I don't know. It's radio.
Hark, hear the bells, sweet silver bells, all say the same. Ding dong.
There you go. That's it.
Ding.
That's his part.
We should do a duet.
Oh, yeah. Tad and Tad. Tad and Tad. Autumn. Do you love me?
Of course.
Not as much as I love you.
I really
Hey,
did.
you set me up.
But baby, it's cold outside.
Oh, yeah, we should do the
We
the
are
gay
gonna do
version. Oh, no, you guys have a great idea. All right, we're going to bye the music, say goodbye, so we have to stop. Bye.
Bye.